This is the second time that I and Kortnee have been on here. We are going to wait just a second and see if anybody's going to join us. We hope that if you're already on here, that you're having a good day wherever you are, a good night. And we're glad to see you on here. And we're going to talk about a couple of things today. Kortnee's going to share with you here in a minute about what we do as believers to teach our children about the Lord and why it's important. We're also going to be talking about the joy and the peace of the Lord. You know, if you watched this last week, Kortnee gave a little bit of her testimony and how the Lord changed her heart and how she now has peace and how she has joy. Well, one of the things that the Lord does for us is give us that peace and is give us that joy whenever we turn our life over to Him. We refer to Galatians whenever we're speaking about that. The Word tells us that we will have the fruit of the Spirit, and one of those things is joy, and one of those things is love. There's many others as well. A lot of people have come out of an ungodly life and have not come to the Lord. They've never experienced real love before. And so sometimes it's hard for them not only to accept love, but to give love as well. Kortnee, do you have any outlooks on why you think people don't feel like they're loved whenever this is going on, whenever they're not born again?
Because they're not born again, it's just they don't have the love of the Father. And the love that they think they have, it's of the world. It's everything but true love.
Yeah. And what people don't realize, you may have the love of your family, you may feel accepted, but there's something within us that longs for more. You know, there's a lot of broken homes today too. And a lot of broken homes means a lot of fatherless children, a lot of motherless children, and so they feel rejected, and they feel like there's not any hope, no one cares about them. But God does care for them. He cares for you, He cares for me. He cares for Kortnee and anyone else there is. He's no respecter of person. That love and that joy and that peace can be yours today if you do not have it. Think upon the Lord and ask Him to be your Lord today. Kortnee, why don't you share with them what you learned as a mother becoming born again and how you deal with teaching your children the ways of the Lord so that they understand the love of the Father, which is God. Okay, I'm going to let you go ahead and come over here, and I'm going to move out of the way.
You want me to read my scriptures or just go back?
Go ahead, talk.
Oh.
Share.
The scriptures I want to share was Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And then the second one is Matthew 18:2-4. He called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, truly I tell you, unless you change and become childlike, like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. I was just thinking about this morning when I was with my son, and I see how the scriptures play out in him. Yeah, and how he was younger and he started, I started sharing God with him, and love that I never felt for him, and then seeing how like the joy it's like coming through, and when he's learning too, how excited he gets and stuff, and the trust that he has in God. Even though he's a little kid too, he has more trust than an adult does. Like when he would get injured, he'd run to me and he'd be like, Mom, can you pray for me? Can you pray for me? And I would, and he would, after he prayed, he'd just take off and it'd just be good. And like I see adults and stuff, and when they're needing healing and stuff, they don't have that. They don't go to God first for prayer and stuff like that.
What can you tell me the differences between whenever you were growing up without understanding that and how you felt?
I didn't feel love the way I see he knows I love him. But then I always tell him that love, I don't want to have it, but like that love comes from God. I always tell him that and remind him. And like I was lost as a little kid, and I would go through depression and stuff like that, and I didn't know where to turn or go to either. And to see him knowing he has God, and he knows to pray too, and I didn't know that, any of that. And I did grow up in church too, but I didn't have that kind of understanding.
Did you see that love of God in your home though?
No.
That's probably what it was. It wasn't just that you were in church. It was just, it was not executed in front of you where you would understand. But that's what you were trying to tell people earlier, that you are saying how important it is that we show our children the love of God so that they can grow up and trust Him and not feel alone. Do you feel alone now, Kortnee?
No, I know we have God, and then God with my kids, but it just makes me feel loved.
Right.
And that's the love that He gave me, you know. And just being able to be humble to everybody instead of being angry and lost.
And so that's part of the fruits of the Spirit too, is being patient and not getting angry and being able to speak to others and be around them without losing it. Yeah.
Like you said about the broken homes, I see all my family and everything, and I see that the brokenness, like I said, they don't have that real love, and it's like they don't have no connection to their own parents or their siblings, and they do things to each others and all that stuff. And I always like think about it like it's because they don't have God in their home.
Right.
Yeah, and most of the time they're following the wrong God, the wrong Jesus, too. So it's just kind of heartbreaking.
Can you explain to people, you just said the wrong Jesus. What do you mean?
Well, the way most of my families are, they're Catholic, but Catholicism isn't from the God of the Bible. It's
In the scripture, Jesus warns us that we are supposed to follow after what He taught us and to beware of the other Jesus. That would be any false teaching, no matter what brand it's given, no matter denomination, right? It could be any denomination that's teaching wrong, right?
Yeah, and then also the tradition from my culture, it completely just keeps people from knowing God.
Right. So there's people on here that's never seen you before. They may be from Australia, maybe from the UK, because we're on right now in the daytime over there with them, and then it's night for us. So explain to them what you mean by your tribe. Tell them who you are and where you came from.
I'm Kortnee, and I came from the Muscalero Apache tribe. but I'm also San Carlos, Apache, and Ute Mountain.
Alright, so you guys over there, that means she's indigenous or Native American, and when she talks about the brokenness, and last week you heard her talking about the alcohol and everything that affects them, this is why whenever the Lord came into her heart, it means so much to her to reach others like you and her people.
And, like I was talking about the tradition, they have like they're really protective over it and like honoring it so much, but it doesn't do anything for them. They're suffering from alcoholism. Their families are dying from depression, like suicide and murder, diseases and all that. And when you have God, God takes care of you, and He takes care of all of that, and He gives you just hope, the hope that they don't have. Yeah.
And you're talking about the traditions, and the traditions bring in other entities, other false gods into the picture, and at the same time they say we worship God the Father. When in actuality, God says that He would have no other gods before Him.
Yeah.
So there's no way we can do both, is there?
No.
And that kind of explains what you were saying earlier also about another Jesus, another God. It's not the truth. It's not the truth that'll set them free. They're still in bondage.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, they may know about God, but yet they still do the traditions of man and the traditions of the tribe.
Yeah.
So as you see this going on, you're saying that Caleb has the joy of the Lord like you're beginning to see a change in him, right?
Yeah.
What kind of a difference have you seen in him as he started learning who God really was?
Like he knows that he has something to call on, and he's humble. One of the humbles I see in him, and it's just like the love I see. Like he just, I guess a little boy does something, but like that love, I see it when he goes to his little cousins and stuff or other family members, and they just love to be around him.
He's more caring now than he was before.
Yeah, before I came to God, he was dealing with a lot of anger. And he just had a hard time with him. But God took care of that. Yeah.
So God can heal you no matter how old you are, huh?
Yeah.
No matter if you're a little child or if you're 120, the whatever extreme it may be, the Lord sees you, He cares about you as an individual.
Yeah, and like how I was talking about he was angry, I seen a lot of that throughout the years through other little kids on the reservation too, where they dealt with that anger, and it got worse as they got older, and like I said, a lot of families don't have that. They don't have the true God, the Bible, so they don't have that. Having to come into their life to like take care of that too, and like Caleb, he was able to get away from that, and it just came from all the junk coming from our family.
What do you mean by junk coming from your family?
Like,
How can you explain that to them?
that goes into like generational curses and all that, depression and what you call it, perversion and incest and all that.
And the witchcraft.
Yeah.
From the tradition.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who have to deal with that no matter whether or not they're native, huh?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, we all deal with the same thing when it comes down to it, because the original fall was caused because of Adam and Eve doing just like Satan and falling from the graces of the Lord and sinning and going against Him out of rebellion. And rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. So we know that that's the real reason all peoples have trouble, and we all need the Lord. If there's anybody on here and you have any questions to me or Kortnee, feel free to post them on here. Good morning, Jeremy. Nice to have you on here. God bless you. Thank you for giving us a hello there. Where are you from, Jeremy? We are in the state of New Mexico, in the United States. Is there anything else you would like to share?
That's just, for me, that's just what was on
That was what was
my
on
hour. Yeah, this morning when I woke up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and close pretty quick here, but we want to give it just a little bit longer for anybody who has any questions. We're glad that you joined us again, and hopefully we'll be able to come on here again maybe next Sunday night. I'll try to give a little heads up on our post if we're going to. That way you know to join us. Like I said before, if you have any prayer requests, then please leave them for us. You can do it, you can post it after this live goes off if you don't think we saw it during the live. And you can also go to the community page and leave us a message on the community page. And we would love to have you come back and join us. And if you could, just give us a like and share with somebody else that needs to learn about the love of the Lord and what is going on in this world. Definitely very pressing on each and every individual, whether you know the Lord or not, and it makes it a lot easier going through this life if we have the love of the Lord and know that we can trust Him and that we can turn towards Him. Once again, one more time, is anybody with any questions? I'll give you just a little bit longer, and then we will conclude. Well, we are in the middle of a series where we're talking about the Passover, which is coming up, which is right before Resurrection Sunday, and explaining what it is. And if you don't know all the ins and outs of what Passover is about, click on to the page, subscribe to us so you can get to it easier. Click on there, go to our playlist, and look about the title of Passover. All right, well, there's no questions, so I guess we will tell y'all good night if you're here, good morning if you're somewhere else, and good afternoon. God bless you until next time, and we'll see you either here or we'll see you there. Keep running with God.
Slip out of it. As long as they're feeling that we're coming out.
Still on.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Oh.
See you next time.